Hi, here's Norma again, and this is day 3 of my creations. I wanted to try to do something every day, and today what we're going to do is finish what we started yesterday by dipping the back of the ornaments and the joy to the world. I'm going to drizzle. You can see that I still have the paint from yesterday on the cellophane. It's dried, it's pretty, but there's no reason to clean this up because I'm using the same colors. And I took the camera closer to the project because I felt like you could see it a little bit easier. So remember, just like yesterday, we're just drizzling it all over. I'm not going to do the V's because we're just dipping the, going to dip the big one first and then the joy to the world. And then I'll be dipping the backs of the other items that we dipped yesterday. I want to put a nice coat on them, and I have to come all the way up here and down here and in between. And I'm going to squish them so I can drizzle the paint everywhere. The white is a little thick, and I kind of wanted that so that it doesn't bleed through everything. And today I am, for the backs, going to put the gold last, because remember, the color that you put on last is the one that goes on. And I'm making sure that I have colors throughout. Now, yesterday we did the joy to the world, and we did the front part. So today we're going to take and we're going to do the back. So we're going to just put it in and squish it all around, making sure that we touch every part of this, because we don't want anything bald. We don't want any. I can always double dip it. I can always come back in, or I can touch it with I can also touch it with a brush, but I would prefer if it comes up, because I think it comes up with very pretty very pretty colors by doing it. Very unique. It's not like anybody else's. So we're going to pull it up and see what we get. And remember, this is the back. So we got a lot of solids on the back, which I kind of like. So I'm just going to set this over on the drying rack. And now I'm going to take our little Merry Christmas ornaments that I kind of double dipped yesterday. And I'm going to dip them the same. And since I do want several different colors, I'm just taking and dipping them in different places. Just making sure that I get everything covered. So when I pull it up, I'm going to turn it over. I've got a pretty neat pattern there, like that. I'm going to set it over here to dry. The top of that did not get anything, so I'm just going to put my finger on it and put a little bit of red. Now you can see what I was talking about, how hard it is to get them off, and if you had something solid you would not be able to actually get them off. I had to pry some off that I did earlier, and that's why I know that these drying racks are the best thing. You get them from Amazon. I tried a baker's rack. That did not work either. So again, look at that. That's the back. So it's got vibrant colors, and I want vibrant colors. Okay, that's the front. This one's not This one doesn't have as vibrant of colors, so I'm going to make sure that I put vibrant colors on the back of this one. I might double dip, turn it over and dip it again in the front, because it doesn't have as vibrant colors as this one. Well, I really like that. I like that it's coming through and it's making a pattern. So that might be something I'll think about next time I dip the front part of the ornaments. Now, yesterday after I dipped those and turned off the camera, I dipped these little snowflakes, and I didn't even take off the cord, because I use the cord to get it out of the paint. So I'm going to dip this in here and see what we come up with. What do you think? Very unique snowflake. It's all covered. I think I missed one little spot there. I think instead of trying to dip it, I'm just going to put my finger on it and color it that way. Now this ornament actually had a stick that was broken off of it when I bought it. Didn't realize it. It came in a package. But when I dipped it yesterday, I was able to get that stick, and this acts like a glue, so it really worked out well. So we're going to put a lot of red in this one. Open my paper back up, because one of the projects that I did want to do today was I went to the Dollar Tree and I saw this cute little frame, and it has a chalkboard in it, and it looks like a perfect teacher's gift. It has the stand in the back where you can stand it up, and so I'm thinking, this would be a very good gift for kids to give to their teachers, and they can write a little message with chalk. So I'm going to actually drizzle some paint back in here. What they could do is their school colors, blue and white, or yellow and green, or whatever. But I'm going to drizzle some paint back on here. We still have a lot of paint and a lot of texture, and I think that that's good. Do the picture frame. So like I said, it would be neat if you had school colors and you did them in your school colors. But since this could be a Christmas gift, have a Christmas is kind of neat, and then saying Merry Christmas to your teacher on there. So I think that that's got enough paint on it, and drizzle a little bit more. No, I think so. So I put a cardstock in on top of the chalkboard, and I taped it down. So I'm kind of hoping, I've never tried this. I've never tried anything before, but I'm hoping this will work. So we're going to do the pressing method that we did before. Pressing it down, and hopefully it'll go on the little wood. This is from the Dollar Tree, so I figured that I can't mess it up too much. And if it works out, oh, the frame's beautiful. I need a little color on this one side. And you're seeing where it got paint on the inside, but that's okay. So now I'm going to go around and touch the sides again to give it color on the sides. And I'm just going to dip it wherever there's paint so that I'm covering the sides of the board. Kind of look around to see where there's still paint on the canvas, on the paper. And check your corners. And one more side to cover. Let's see if I've got some up there. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so we'll look at that tomorrow and see how that comes out. We'll never know. So I told you that I would like to try some different colors, and the other day I talked about the ones I bought at Hobby Lobby that were a package of 4 that were the pre-mixed pouring acrylic sets. And the one I have in front are the ones that had the 2 lilac. They're called lilac petals, and this is amethyst, and this one is sapphire, and this one is, I believe, sky blue, springtime blue. That's a package of 4 that I'm going to mix up, and then I'm going to mix up this one that's kind of got golds and bronzes and grays and white. So let's mix up those as a dirty cup and see what those ornaments would come out. And I'm only going to use these little cups so that we don't have a lot of leftover paint. Yesterday I noticed a couple of things that would make it handy, and that's using a turntable to see the ornament, and also using individual little styrofoam, so I cut it in half. So we're going to start today showing you what I had gotten was a big box of ornaments, and we're going to take about 3 of them, and I've already got 2 out, but we're going to take some out, and you can see that, I don't know if you can see that they have a ridge on them, so they're kind of pretty, and it makes a very delicate lacy look. So I'm going to take 3 more out. So the first ones that we're going to use today are the blues and the purples. And I'm going to use this, we're going to do the dirty cup pour. And I'm going to use the same one that I did yesterday. Now yesterday I ended up with a little bit of silver in the cup, so I'm just going to leave that in there. I'm going to put the amethyst in, the sapphire, the springtime blue, I'm going to put the lilac, and I'm going to layer it again, because this is what gives you the marble effect. So here we go with the amethyst. We need about a cupful, not quite a cupful, for our ornaments. A little bit of the blue. And you can change the colors around if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to go in the same order. And at the end I'm going to put a little bit of silver. Now I have probably way too much for this ornament, but I like to get it covered. And I have taken and covered my turntable with just aluminum foil because I'm going to get it dirty. Now another thing that I found yesterday was that I need to start with going on this side of the cup, and I just want to pour it into a empty cup. But I want to give this side a little bit of color to start with, because I noticed that the bottom does not get it filled. So I'm just going to put a little bit of color on there. And I have some paper towels under here too, so that it's catching it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't the colors pretty on that? Now I'm going to put it on my turntable. I'm going to try to pull the turntable more to me because I know that it's out of frame. You do need to try to get your ornament on the stick level, because it's going to go on one side or another. So just push it down. Now look at all those pretty colors in there. So we're going to take and kind of swirl them. And it should go all over this this ornament. And by turning the turntable, I'm making sure that I'm actually covering it. And it's going to get my styrofoam nice and, oh, that's just very pretty. I don't even need to finish this. I can do another ball with that colors. So you can see that I've got it pretty covered. And look at all those pretty scrumptious colors. Looks almost like a psychedelic place. So now I'm going to put it over on my drying rack, because that way it can drip. And I'll get my next one. And you know, why don't we just go ahead and do another one of that same color, since we've got those, and maybe put the colors, add a couple of more colors back in, but maybe do them a different flavor. So I'm going to start with the lilac, go with the violet, go with some silver, put some silver in there, go with the dark blue, and then in with some springtime blue. You can see I've got a lot of color in there. I still have about a half a cup. So I should be fine with covering this. So let me get my cup again and move that over. And I'm going to just pour on the bottom. Just pouring a little bit around the ornament on the bottom, so that I have the bottom covered. I'm getting some pretty colors already, and I'm going to stick it on my stick, trying to make sure that it's in their level. I could pour that back on it. And now I'm going to pour the rest of this around, moving my turntable so that I am getting it all over the ball. And this allows me to see if I'm getting it on there. I can always take and tip some with my finger. If I have a bald spot, I can tip it off on my, got a bald spot right there. So I'm going to take what I have in the cup and actually drip it in there. Oh, that's pretty. I have another bald spot, so I'm just going to scrape it off with my finger and dip it down in there. Okay, and another bald spot. So I'm actually going to take my finger and just put it into the paint that's on the styrofoam and do it that way, just to make sure that I'm getting some colors on there. And you can see that it's still, look how pretty that ornament is. How pretty that ornament is. Look at all those colors. Isn't that pretty? And we've used I'm going to do is with the metallics. So I'm going to use the same dirty cup that I used yesterday. It's got really pretty, it almost, when I do it this way, it comes out almost a caramel looking ornament. I'm going to start with the bronze. Probably not going to put as much into this cup since that one had so much. This is the white. This is the gold. And this is the silver. I'm going to end with a little bit of the bronze because I want that the colors to come out very vibrant. So I've got about 3/4, I would say a half a cup of these little condiment cups, and that's not quite enough. So I'll add a little bit more white. A little bit more gold. And a little bit more silver. I need at least about 3/4 of the cup to make sure that I'm covering a ornament very good. Now I'm going to get an empty cup. This cup has got some pretty colors. I wonder what's going to happen if I took this after I do everything. I take what's in here and pour one. Let's see what's going to happen. Now I'm going to take the top and I'm going to pour it around the top, and just to get colors, and you can see how it starts covering your ornament real good. And then I'm going to put it up on the styrofoam. Turn it over and put it on the styrofoam. And I'm going to start turning with the swirls. I'm going to turn. Got a lot of silver in there. It's very pretty. Trying to see and make sure that I'm covering the whole ornament. I see a bald spot there. I think I've got it pretty covered. Maybe a bald spot right there. Isn't that pretty? A very pretty ornament. Almost looks very, very elegant with the metallics. I still have a little bit left. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pour it in that cup where we're going to use it at the end. So I'm just going to pour it into that cup that we're going to, at the end, we're going to do a dirty cup with all the colors. It might turn out really bad, or it might turn out really good. So we'll see. So I'm going to set that over in the drying rack, hoping to get that level. And we're going to pick another one. And this one we're going to do the green and red, gold, and white. So I'm going to set that down to begin with. The cup that I used yesterday is the dirty cup. I'm going to use it again today. You can see the pretty colors. I started yesterday with green, so today I'm going to start with reds. And then I'm going to put green in. Sometimes I like to make sure that I put white between or gold between so that it doesn't make the green and the red don't mix so good and make it a muddy color. Sometimes it can be really harsh. So this next layer, I'm going to actually put the white in between the red and the green. And put the white. And put the green. And then put the gold. And these colors that we end up with are really going on the bottom of the ornament. So when we take our cup and pour on the bottom, you can see the pretty colors. So we're just making sure that we are covering, having a problem getting a hold of that bottom, and just covering the very bottom of it, and then I'm going to turn it over and see what we got come up with. So there it is, and it's on pretty straight. And now I'm going to drizzle it. And this one's mostly green, so we need to turn it around and see if we can get some of the red to come out. There's the red. Sometimes when the red and white mix together, you see they turn pink. This one's got little ripples on it, so it automatically comes out. Just swirl it around a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Now, we did the little picture frame, and I'm not for sure it came out very good as far as in the video yesterday. But remember, very, very thick. So it's almost like a skin. In fact, a lot of people use their skins to make other crafts like jewelry and magnets. So here's our little gift. We could probably trim a couple of things with a board, but we could put a Merry Christmas and the teacher's name on that and give that as a gift with maybe a piece of chalk. Okay, now I'm going to bring it down and show you the finished pieces. And I'm putting it against black so that it would show up. The little 3 ornaments, the Merry Christmas ornaments that we dipped. I probably would not lay these flat because they actually got some stuff stuck in their wording. This is a joy to the world, and the backs are all covered too, and they're very pretty. This is that Merry Christmas that I did before I ever started taping. And then here's the snowflakes, the 3 snowflakes. These are actually the backs. I like the backs better than the fronts, so I turned them over, but they're coated on both sides. And that first day when I did the dipping, I was said I was going to do a Christmas card. Well, here is my dipping, and I'm trying to get Merry Christmas written on there, and you can see that I'm having trouble getting the paint to actually stick on top where it stands out. But I'll get it, and this will probably be about the 4th coat when I get it to stand out enough, and I might outline it in black. Okay, this is the finished product of the ornaments, and I'd like to show them to you. I have them on my turntable so we can turn it around. I really like the ones with metallics. You can see how they shine. They're so pretty. Every one of them has a different look. I have 2 more of the same color down on my... Now these were done yesterday, and they're still not completely dry, so I'm trying to have them hang. As you can see, the pretty colors. Now here's the red. This is a glass ball here that I put the colors on and just drizzled the color on. I put a red bow on it. And it's really pretty. This is one that was a dirty cup, but it was a really dirty cup. So the colors aren't as vibrant. Now, I will be spraying with these with polyurethane, so the colors will come out vibrant again. You can see that red, how vibrant it is. And look at the bottom of it. You can see the different colors. Very, very unique. There's the metallics again. Here's the blues. You can really see the purples and the marbling in there. And that's all from just drizzling that dirty cup on there. There's another blue. It's got a lot of purples in there. Depends on what color you put in first is the one that's going to come out last. So that'll be the predominant color. Now look at this one. This is very pretty. It almost looks like a Santa Fe colors. It's got the teals and pinks, and that pink is actually from the red and white mixing together. Here's another purple one. Here's one that's very unique. Look at this. It looks like Santa Fe again. Has those colors. Another one of the square ones that is a ball. This is a glass ornament that I dipped the first day that we had the paper down. I actually dipped it, and you can see the pretty effects on the ornament. You see the blues. You see the purples. Another one that I felt like was kind of psychedelic and very green and pink. And then this was the dirty cup where we had everything, we emptied everything into it, and this is what it came out like. So if you liked what I did today, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to get 100 subscribers, so please do that, and I'll see you tomorrow.